back in the studio. The Jim and Terry Show. Without Jim, who's having fun in the sun, I'm assuming. I hope you get some nice rays, catch a few Zeds while you're there. Get cat up in your sleep, Jim. Things that are happening. Mark Carney at the White House. And it seems like it's a tale of two spins. If you're a centrist or left of center, yes, think Carney did a great job, represented Canada well, and said, never what? Never for sale. What's for sale? Canada. Who wants to buy? United States. Are we going to sell? Never. Well, that seems to be where the spin goes. Did Carney say what Canadians wanted to hear? Canada's not for sale. Go look somewhere else. Not that they should look to Greenland, but look somewhere else. Canada's not for sale. And Trump tried to use his real estate expertise and his artistic expertise. Artistic? Yeah, you know all that gaudy gold, the 24 karat this and that, picture frames, everything decorated in metal flake, gold color, spray paint. I don't know what it is, but he wanted to show off the Oval Office to Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister. Gaudy stuff, if you ask me. But, yeah, Trump's proud of his gold. Gold. Meme coin gold. Doge. Bitcoin. Something gold. Something sparkling in the Oval Office. But it wasn't Trump's charismatic personality or his deals. What was sparkling? Mark Carney. Defender of Canada. Couldn't ask for someone better, in my opinion. Given that the choice would have been Poilievre or Carney, I can't see how people would still support Poilievre. He lost his own seat. That's how low his support goes. But somebody bought into the Poilievre myth, the myth that he was actually going to be a great leader of Canada. Nah, serving Timbits to the convoy in Ottawa was not the makings of a good leader, a good prime minister. Neither was, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Look at his 20-year record in the House of Commons. A lot of years, 20 years, nothing to show but a great pension. Nothing to show at Stornoway, the leader of the opposition's house, paid for by taxpayers. Nothing to show. And here we have Mark Carney. Yes, he's a world-class figure. Yes, he's well qualified. Yes, he's mild-mannered, but elbows up. Some people say elbows up is a lousy expression. It's almost like axe the tax, or bring it home, Canada, or whatever else Pierre Poilievre was ranting on about. Poilievre, least qualified leader. Jagmeet Singh, I had hopes for him, delivered something in cooperation with the Liberals. But the choice of Carney versus Poilievre seems obvious. Could you picture Poilievre in the Oval Office? Just take out Mark Carney and what we just witnessed and put Poilievre in there. I don't think I'd see a disagreeable word from him. And I don't know that Mark Carney did either. I think he tried to placate Trump. He called him a transformational leader. Transformational? Yes, but in what sense? That's where, if you're on the center-right or far-right of Canada's political spectrum, you would say, oh, he sold out Canada. Oh, he's not the strong leader. Canada strong, baloney. He's a communist. He's an elitist. He's a globalist. He's a something. WEF, World Economic Forum. He's a backstabber. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's lied about his taxes, lied about his investments. Oh, he got money from Trump. I don't know how that connection works, but if you're listening to far-right media, and there are a few that I've come in contact with because of various people in family circles or friendship circles who follow some far-right stuff that is far right, all right. Far out, as John Denver used to say. Far out. How far out? Well, you can tell by the subtitles in some of the podcasts. And if you just take a look at how this meeting in the Oval Office was covered, of course there was the fear of a Zelensky. That's become synonymous with a ambush. And a lot of the far right tend to have their subtitles looking like they're ambushing Carney. Have you buyer's remorse yet, liberals? Buyer's remorse? Why? Because Carney stood up, or rather sat down. He wore a suit and tie. Can't give him a Zelensky. Where's your suit and tie, Mr. Zelensky? Don't you have respect? Well, Carney showed respect. So what is there else to complain about? Selling out Canada? I don't think so. Not for sale. Never. Trump said never say never, but Carney said never, never, never. A couple of times. Check it out for yourself. Listen with your own ears to the words that are said. And if you can just take them at face value, Trump is a transformational leader. Doesn't mean it's good transformation. It's like my good friend Jim always says about Trump being sent by God, God's servant, yes, to destroy America. He's sent in judgment, not sent to make God's will on earth in the United States through Trump. More like judging America through Trump. So transformational, yes, but in a negative sense. I don't fault Carney for using that phrase. It's a good bit of stroking of Trump's ego, which is what you do when you've got a narcissist for a president. And that is the key. Stroke his ego, say the words, but you know what you mean. Define the terms. We're in for a rough go, I think. Canada, time to start looking far afield, looking east, looking west, looking north, but definitely not quite looking south unless they toss the bum out. How do you toss a president? Impeachment. He's already been impeached twice, first time around. Can he be impeached again? Of course. Will he be held accountable? Not likely. The GOP in the states refused to convict Trump in the Senate during the impeachment trials, which means he's off the hook. Oh, America, what happened to the land of liberty? What happened to the bring us your poor, your downtrodden? What happened? As Jim always says, it's time to sell the Statue of Liberty to Canada. Will we be the beacon on the hill? Will we replace the United States? Not likely. The United States has, 10 times the population of Canada? Although we're growing, 40 some odd million, 41 million now. Will we become a defender of the North? Will we build pipelines? Do we want to build pipelines? Well, I guess if you want to be independent, you're going to have to extract something from somewhere and transport it somehow to someplace. Carney, strong, Canada strong? Yeah, I think so. Good showing at the White House. Good showing at the Oval Office. I would have loved to have been a speck on the wall during the lunchtime discussions. But check it out for yourself and go to the different points of view, a conservative, a far right, center right, and take a look at some of the other ones that I subscribe to and follow as a more rational voice to Canadian politics, not with the clickbait titles of Carney embarrassed Canada or whatever else. Why do I use that voice? Because it's the voice of Pierre Poilievre, and I find him to be an embarrassment of Canada. Yeah, there's a lot of whataboutism. Buyer's remorse? I don't think so. I think we got exactly what we knew we wanted. Someone to stand up to Trump. Did Trump actually is this cause and effect, Mark Carney to win? I don't think you can pin it on cause and effect, but you can say Trump had a part, which means he and the U.S. were kind of literally a foreign influence. Check out the Mark Carney response to Trump in the Oval Office. I think it represents Canada well. Stand up, Canada. Canada strong. Canada never 51. Never 51. Jim and Terry Show signing out. Bye-bye.